The ultimate showdown. Who's the real king? Alright folks, picture this. You're out on a riverbank somewhere in the wild, the sun's blazing, birds are chirping, and suddenly boom, two of nature's most feared powerhouses show up for a showdown. I'm talking about the North American grizzly bear, the heavyweight champion of the forest, and the Nile crocodile, a prehistoric tank that's been terrorizing riverbanks since dinosaurs roamed the earth. Now, let's break it down. On one side, you've got the grizzly, massive shoulders, curved claws, and a temper that flares faster than a campfire in a windstorm. This beast can knock over a 700-pound dumpster like it's swatting a toy. It's like a furry bodybuilder who skipped leg day but bench-pressed a bison for breakfast. On the other side, we've got the Nile crocodile. This guy is not here to play. He's the living embodiment of if it ain't broke, don't evolve it. With a jaw that crushed bones like potato chips and armor-plated skin that could stop arrows, this beast has survived mass extinctions and still shows up to ruin your safari. It doesn't chase prey, it waits, and when it strikes, it's like a landmine with teeth. So here's the million-dollar question. If these two titans cross paths on land, on the edge of the water, who walks away the winner? With a jaw that crushed bones like potato chips and armor-plated skin that could stop arrows, this beast has survived mass extinctions and still shows up to ruin your safari. It doesn't chase prey, it waits, and when it strikes, it's like a landmine with teeth. So here's the million-dollar question. If these two titans cross paths on land, on the edge of the water, who walks away the winner? Which one do you think would walk away the victor and which one would crawl away in defeat? Let's find out. Battle-ready bodies, one's a powerlifter, the other's a walking fortress. Now let's talk muscle and armor, because this showdown isn't just about attitude, it's about how these animals were built to brawl. We're talking about two biological blueprints that couldn't be more different, yet both are terrifyingly effective. First up, let me introduce the grizzly bear's full name. You ready? Ursus arctos horribilis. That's Latin for horrible northern bear. When your scientific name literally says you're dreadful, nature clearly didn't make you for cuddles. This beast is a walking wrecking ball. Think of it like a furry tank that traded treads for claws. It's not just bulky, it's battle-tested. I once saw footage of a juvenile grizzly getting clipped by a car and walking away like it got hit with a pillow. That's thanks to its thick layer of fat and loose skin, which act like biological shock absorbers. It's kind of like wearing bubble wrap under a winter coat. Add in the fact that grizzlies often face off against moose, elk, and freezing conditions, and you'll understand why they evolved to be solid slabs of meat and muscle. And let's not forget that signature shoulder hump. No, it's not a weird lump. That's all pure muscle, built for digging, wrestling, and delivering haymakers that could knock a vending machine over. These bears have hips strong enough to let them stand and brawl without losing balance, like a sumo wrestler with better footwork. You don't want to be on the wrong side of that paw swipe. But now, let's slide over to the reptilian corner of the ring. The Nile crocodile doesn't need bulging biceps or power poses. Why? Because it's wearing armor. Literal bone-reinforced scales run down its back like nature's version of medieval chainmail. This thing is so heavily protected, even bullets can bounce off the thickest parts. And those ancient ancestors, yeah, they were swimming with dinosaurs and outlived them. That's not just survival, that's straight-up boss-level endurance. While the grizzly relies on strength and stamina, the Nile crocodile plays defense like a brick wall. It doesn't need to be fast for long. One quick snap, one good ambush, and game over. It doesn't care about flexing. It's the reptile version of, I said what I said, and it backs that up with over 200 million years of results. So here's the question. When a beast made of muscle goes toe-to-toe with a monster made of armor, which body type comes out on top? Is raw strength enough to break through ancient defense? Or does the fortress on four legs outlast the furry juggernaut? We've seen both of these animals dominate their own worlds. But when worlds collide, who really has the better body for battle? Stay tuned. Nature's arsenal, claws, muscle, and the bite that breaks bones. Now let's talk weapons. Not the kind you can craft in a video game, but the real, built-in, bone-shattering kind that nature hands out to her top predators. The grizzly bear and the Nile crocodile don't need swords or spears. They come locked and loaded straight from the womb. Let's start with the grizzly. Ever seen a bear up close? The claws are the first thing you notice. They're not just long, they're hooked, like nature's version of climbing gear crossed with butcher knives. These curved daggers can reach up to 4 inches in length, long enough to palm your entire face and make you rethink every decision that led to that moment. And they're not just for show. Bears use them like multi-tools. Digging up roots, turning over logs, dragging prey, or pinning an opponent like a pro wrestler going for the final slam. But what really sets the grizzly apart isn't just the claws, it's the endurance. These animals can fight for 10, 15 minutes straight without stopping. Imagine 2 bears locked in a showdown, swiping, grappling, growling, and slamming into each other like furry tanks in a demolition derby. That's not just impressive, that's terrifying. And it's all powered by a build packed with slow-twitch muscle fibers that keep them going long after most predators would be wheezing in the corner. It's like if a marathon runner and a linebacker merged into one hairy forest beast. Now let's swing over to the Nile crocodile. No claws, no punches, no long fights, just one move. One devastating, game-ending, bone-crushing move, the bite. You see, while a grizzly bear can crush with about 1,200 pounds per square inch strong enough to crack bone the crocodile, we're talking 5,000 psi. That's stronger than a great white shark and even some industrial hydraulic presses. When this reptile clamps down, it's like slamming a steel trap shut. It doesn't nibble, it ends things. And just when you think the worst is over, here comes the nightmare move, the infamous death roll. This is when the crocodile grabs onto its prey and spins with wild, bone-snapping force. It disorients, breaks limbs, tears flesh, and sometimes rips entire body parts clean off. It's like getting caught in a blender that bites first and asks questions never. But here's something many people don't realize. That powerful bite, it's almost all about leverage and placement. If a croc misses its mark or gets a hold of a less vulnerable spot, like thick bear hide and fat, it might not land the knockout blow. And while the grizzly has more weapons and stamina, the croc only needs one good bite to turn the tide completely, so ask yourself this. In a battle between a multi-weapon brawler and a one-hit wonder that rarely misses, who really has the advantage? Can the bear avoid that deadly snap long enough to wear down its cold-blooded rival? Or does the crocodile just need one lucky clamp to end it all in a single violent twist? Let's find out. The riverbank rumble, who really owns the battlefield? Alright, now it's game time. Let's set the scene. Picture a muddy riverbank somewhere deep in the wild. The air is thick with tension. One side of the shore is stomping with fury. The other side is lurking just beneath the surface. No cage, no rules, just raw nature deciding who stays and who gets steamrolled. So who's got the edge when the battlefield is the riverbank? Let's start with the grizzly bear. On dry land, this beast is in its element. It's got size, reach, and agility on its side. This isn't some slow, lumbering oaf. Grizzlies can run up to 35 miles per hour and pivot like a pro linebacker. They can chase down elk and dodge attacks with surprising finesse. Put that on a flat, open stretch of land and it's like giving a pro boxer home court advantage. And let's not forget the grizzly's greatest weapon in this setting, stamina. As a warm-blooded mammal, it can go the distance. While the crocodile starts overheating and building up lactic acid like a bad gym day, the bear's just getting warmed up. It can bob, weave, fake an attack, then circle around and come back for more. It's like fighting someone who just never stops moving and never seems to tire. That's exhausting even to think about. Now, let's talk about our cold-blooded competitor, the Nile crocodile. This guy thrives in water but can still throw down on land. Sure, it's not as fast or flexible, but don't be fooled. One wrong step from the bear and the crocodile only needs one moment. One snap. One bite in the right spot, maybe a leg, maybe the neck, and suddenly, the whole fight tilts in its favor. That jaw is like nature's guillotine. If it lands, it can end things in a flash, but here's the big question. Can it land that one bite before it runs out of steam? Because unlike the bear, the croc doesn't have time on its side. It's designed for short, explosive bursts, not prolonged battles. Think of it like a sprinter going up against a marathoner. If it doesn't finish the job quickly, it starts dragging. And when that happens, the grizzly will smell the opportunity. Personally, I'd be sweating bullets if I were the crocodile on land. It's kind of like a fish out of water ... except the fish has teeth the size of steak knives. Still, the environment here favors the bear. The ability to move freely, to dodge and wear down the opponent, gives it a serious leg up. So here's the cliffhanger for you. Is one deadly bite from the crocodile enough to flip the fight? Or will the grizzly's endurance and agility turn this into a slow, crushing defeat for the ancient reptile? Let's not get ahead of ourselves just yet. The water's still nearby, and the fight's far from over. The final verdict, the grizzly's game to lose, but the croc's still got teeth. Alright, we've broken down the claws, the jaws, the muscles, the armor, and the battlefield. Now it's time to lay it all on the table. When a grizzly bear and a Nile crocodile square off near the edge of a river, who's walking away with bragging rights and who's getting dragged back to the water as a cautionary tale? Let's start with the land game. This is where the grizzly truly shines. Thick fur like a built-in mattress, a fatty underlayer that acts like armor, and stamina that just keeps on giving. If the fight drags on, and trust me, a grizzly is more than happy to go the distance, the crocodile starts to slow down like a car running low on gas. That's when the bear turns the tables. I can picture it now. The croc lunges, jaws wide, but misses by an inch. The bear dodges to the side, gets behind it, and starts using those massive paws like sledgehammers. The croc tries to twist, to fight back, but it's sluggish. The bear's moving like it's round 4 of a boxing match and it still hasn't broken a sweat. But don't start celebrating too soon, because there's one huge what if that could flip the script in a heartbeat. What if the crocodile gets the bear into the water? That's not just bad news, it's a full-on nightmare. The moment the bear loses its footing and gets dragged past its forearms into deeper water, the croc is in its element. It's not just fighting anymore, it's hunting. The bear's endurance won't matter if it can't breathe. That thick fur. Not much help when you're spinning underwater in a death roll. I've seen what crocodiles can do to prey twice the size of a bear once they get them submerged. In that environment, they don't just win. They dominate. So what's the final answer? If the fight stays on land, I'm giving the edge to the grizzly. It's got the size, the stamina, the smarts, and just enough durability to outlast and outmaneuver the croc. But it's not a guaranteed win. This isn't a superhero movie. All it takes is one mistake, one slip, and the grizzly could find itself in a watery grave. Let me ask you this. If you were the bear, how close would you dare to get to the water's edge? That's the gamble in nature's fight club. And that's what makes this matchup so exciting. It's not just about who's stronger or who's meaner. It's about timing, terrain, and not letting your opponent drag you into their world.